Day 3 of the World Aquatics Championships out in Singapore, and we've had potentially one of the fastest final sessions we've ever seen. Two men sub 1:44 in the 200 meters freestyle, the fastest 100 meter backstroke final, and Katie Ledecky reigns supreme yet again. We'll discuss all, and we want to hear your thoughts as well, so let's jump straight in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. Night 3 of the World Aquatics Championships in the books, and yes, like I said in the intro, some incredibly fast times to go through tonight. The men's 2-free was a stunner, the men's 100 back was a stunner, the women's 100 backstroke was otherworldly as well, like the times in that are bonkers, and Katie Ledecky really came to play and party at this meet. Lots to go through, Dan.
Yeah, I tell you what, the backstroke events never disappoint. I don't think they have done disappointed for ages, especially on the women's side as well. We'll get to that, but there's a lot of amazing races. That 100 back for the men was probably, I think, classed as the fastest final that's ever been. So loads to unpack on this episode.
Now, before we jump into this week's episode, I do want to let you guys know that the Propulsion Swimming Podcast is brought in partnership with One Float Aquatics out in Summer Bay, the newest training destination on the Red Sea in Egypt. And if you're interested in booking your next training camp, you can follow the link in the show notes of this podcast. Dan, we're going to get into this thick and fast today. We start with the men's 200 meters freestyle. We built it yesterday as the head-to-head between Popovici and Luke Hobson, and it really, really didn't disappoint. I think both of them raced it as we expected them to. Hobson maybe held back a tiny bit in the first 50, kicked on for that middle 100 meters, but it wasn't further enough ahead of Popovici, who has the fastest closing 50 in the world right now. I think you put him in a field with Bobby Fink, and I think he'd hurt Bobby Fink in the last 50 as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Hobson took this out really hard, 50.07 at the turn.
Yeah, and then 1:16.5, I think it was, at the 150. So he did everything he could. He did everything he could to try and break away from Popovici, and he did. Like he's half a bod length ahead. So he's doing everything that we thought he would do. I think probably the rest of the world or swimming fans expected him to do, because he did that at trials and it worked successfully. Like a 1:43.8 is extremely good, but you just can't compete with the Popovici back end speed. No one can at the moment. And going into the 100,
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Yeah, he's going to look very good in that, I suspect. I don't know if the world record's on the cards for that, but 1:43.5 for Popovici. I just don't know if anyone can get near him right now, because he's I would say on a different planet, but he's not. It's only just 0.3 ahead, but the closing speed is just insanely good.
This might be the first time since the super suits that we've had two men in a race under 1:44.
Oh, we'd have to do a bit of research. I don't actually know, but you might be right, actually. Yeah.
I think the scariest thing for me, it kind of feels like Popovici is just getting started. He's still only 20. He's now World, Olympic, everything champion. And the interview afterwards he had on poolside, that this was a relaxed year for him. What he said to Elizabeth Beisel on poolside was very much, look, the Olympics, I put everything into that. I got the medal. This year I started a little slowly, and it was a kind of pressure-free, but he's not had the big training block into this meet, and he's gone at 1:43.5. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if 2 years, next Olympics, he's down to the 1:42s again.
It was
just scary. And especially when swimmers, I want to say it's the only way to beat him, is to go out hard and put pressure on, like Hobson did, like Huang did. But actually, it plays so much into his hands every single time.
Well, we said this about Huang in the semi-finals, didn't we? Saying that it was almost like a pace setter, and you just follow him, stay on his shoulders, stay on his hips, and then you kind of follow and then overtake and slingshot ahead at the end. Yeah, I don't know how you beat him. You've got to have your own tactics. I don't think you can sort of race him as such, because you know he's going to come back at the end. You just got to stick to your own tactics, I'm assuming. There's me being a sofa expert here. But I think the pressure was really on in Paris, seeing as though he was a 16-year-old going back into Tokyo, and everyone was expecting massive things from him going into Paris. He was probably expected to win, I don't know, in that 200 free. Favourite going in, I suspect. And now that he's done that, I think that the relief, the pressure off his shoulders, the weight off his back is gone. And so you can actually freely swim these sort of stupid times. And I agree. I don't think the world record is within touching distance at all here, but a sub 143, I think is very much in the cards in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah. It's just stepping stones now for him for how far he goes. And Hobson, like it's forgotten that he's only 22 as well. He looks a lot older than 22, and he's been kind of the name around for a while with NCAAs and American swimming. But actually, like for America to have a 143, 200 meters freestyle who's just getting started with Bob Bowman. I mean, there's Brits who's dominated the 2-3 for the past few years. We're kind of on the back foot a little bit right now.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? It really does. Even though you say that, Jimmy actually thought swam really well, 145.2, so only just off his PB. You know, we all expect him or want him to go a sub 45 eventually. I think that will happen. Just didn't happen on this occasion. I think the problem was not really a problem, but Huang was right in the middle and almost like a perfect pace setter for the two big guys.
Yeah.
And I suppose Jimmy was a little bit too far out in lane 2, I think he was. So, yeah, that didn't really play into his hands. But, yeah, I wonder if permutations for the relay, I think we're still going to win a medal, but I think the Americans are going to really sort of challenge us big time when it comes to the gold medal.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on in this meet, I think. I like you say, PB plus 0.2 from James Guy in this one. Again, it's... I know 7th place isn't the look that everyone from British swimming or fans of UK swimming will want. Yeah. PB plus 2 in a final, you can't ask too much more.
No, well, that's the thing. There's a lot of 144s in there. Huang 144.7, which I think probably would have been podium in Paris as well. So it's an event that's getting quicker and quicker, and Popovici is very much the leading charge right now, and I don't know who can stop him, if I'm brutally honest.
Talking of unstoppable swimmers then, women's 1500 meters freestyle. Katie Ledecky, of course, wins this one, but for a little while there, Lally Pallister really gave her a run for her money, and she actually split at 200 a 158, which would have qualified for the 200 meters final. Yeah. What to say? I think Pallister really paid the price.
Oh, very much
for
so.
It.
Yeah.
Ledecky was under world record pace for a long time of it, and I wonder if going out that hard with Lally Pallister, she paid the price slightly for it as well.
Most probably, yes. I like the idea of what Pallister did. Like, if you're going to race the greatest swimmer of all time, female swimmer of all time, then you got to just take the bull by its horns and just go for it. She did that for the first 400, and then the quality, I suppose, the pace of Ledecky just got to her in the end. It's relentless, isn't it? It really is. But even that pace, like you're saying, that Ledecky was trying to hold at the start, really did sort of pay the price for her as well. But again, I can't remember, was it the second fastest 1500 ever that Ledecky has just swam? Or maybe the third, something like that, top 5 at least. So she's getting quicker and quicker, and she's been doing this for over 10 years. It's mental.
I think Quadrella in the background of this is hugely, hugely exciting. She didn't kind of focus on the pace that Ledecky and Pallister were doing. And then she swims the second fastest time, or she is now the second fastest swimmer of all time in the 1500 meters freestyle, which is quite a scalp. She's gone 15:31.7, which is only 7 seconds behind Ledecky. Only 7 seconds. But Ledecky wasn't in this massive gulf of water away from the field. I think this because Quadrella is only 26. She's been around for a little while now. Maybe her time will come. Maybe.
I think this is a massive confidence boost to go a PB, and it was a huge PB of, I think it was over 7 seconds, European record. That is only going to bode massive confidence for future swims. Be interesting to see what she does in the 800 now because of that. But I see Quadrella as more of a distant swimmer, because I don't think she has that speed, which of course Ledecky does, because she's pretty good at 200 as well, obviously. But I love the way Pallister attacked it. It just didn't quite work out for her, but she knows that moving forward, so she can adjust that sort of way. But I think I was listening to commentators, and they say that Ledecky is now a 22-time world champion. Like, what? 22 times.
Oh,
I had to re-listen to it 3 times. Like, what?
Do you have the conversation now that she's... This is another podcast, and we'll have this podcast in like the summer months, maybe, when professional swimming is kind of a downtime. Is she in the conversation with Phelps? I think she has to be.
Gosh, she has to be. I mean, clearly, Phelps is the best male, and then Ledecky is the best female. But then, who was the best swimmer? it's really up for grabs. I don't know. I suppose just because the Olympics is the biggest thing, and Phelps doing what he did with all his medals and what he did in Beijing, etc., I suppose it puts him number one. But I'll tell you what, Ledecky is incredible. Yeah, that's another podcast. We could go on forever with that, I think.
Women's 100 meters backstroke.
Banging race.
Absolutely awesome. Banging race. Amazing. Like, from the gun and from literally the breakout, I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, this is different from the semi-finals.
Yeah.
The stroke rate from Kaylee McKeown and Regan Smith had gone through the roof from the semi-finals, like absolutely matching Catherine Burkhoff, who is a 50 out-and-out sprinter. We said going in, we didn't really have too much of a discussion about this because we said, look, Kaylee McKeown against Regan Smith, 100% every day of the week right now. I'm picking Kaylee McKeown, and I think I will forever because she just has this mental edge that Regan Smith looked incredibly strong, but last 10 meters, if Kaylee's there, Kaylee's winning. And it just always is going, like, in my opinion, that is always going to be the case when it comes to women's 100 backstroke. She said after Paris, she needed a mental reset and a mental break because there was so much pressure on her going into those games. But I think she is the strongest I think she's got the strongest mental skills in swimming. In my personal opinion, she is the strongest mentally in the whole of world swimming because of what she consistently does to Regan Smith.
Yeah, it's the pacing. It's the pacing that really crushes Regan Smith, I think. I mean, I was watching that race and I thought the starts were basically the same. They popped up a 15, pretty much level. And then at the turn, Regan started to pull away, or going in towards the turn. I was actually thinking, like, I think Regan's got it here because of the swim speed she was showing in the semi-finals. Surely it's going to be the same again for the finals. And ultimately, Kaylee just comes through with the immaculate pacing that she has, usually shown in the 200, but the speed that she came back in this 100 was awesome. Championship record only just missed the world record. That would have been the icing on the cake if she did go and get it. And like you say,
we haven't even talked about the time, have we? She won in a 57.16, which is rapid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And even Burkhoff, who came third, was a full second behind. And a 58.1 is extremely good. That might even be a PB for Burkhoff, but still a second off these two juggernauts of female backstroke. It's amazing to watch. Can you imagine the reaction if Regan ever does beat Kaylee at 100 backstroke? And she does a world record as well. Oh, it's going to be a massive, like, I've done it. But not to be at the moment. She just can't beat her at the moment. She is just the ultimate racer. I think the comp said the ultimate racer that Kaylee is. Just won't let her lose. But more to come. We'll see what happens in the 50. I suppose Burkhoff will be favourite for that.
Absolutely. Like same question that we've just had about the 1500. Best backstroker of all time is up there between Kaylee McKeown and Aaron Pearsall now. If not, it's done. The debate's done. I think Kaylee McKeown is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say that the Aaron Pearsall's world record is unbeatable, but only Kaylee at the moment can beat her own world record. Well, no, it's Regan's, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, it's Regan's world record. Yeah. Oh, the two backstroke. Yeah, that's a different thing. But I would put Kaylee as the best backstroker ever.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Yeah,
maybe even the best pure out and out racer ever.
I mean, possibly. That's up for discussion, which people can leave in the comments. That's right up for debate.
Men's 100 metres backstroke then, we had really strong hopes in this one for British swimmer Ollie Morgan. He turned sub 25 seconds. So he really didn't leave any questions unanswered. He went for it from the absolute gun. He finishes down in 5th in this one. I say down in 5th because he was only 0.2, 0.3 off a podium. And the whole podium is sub 52 seconds. And actually looking at who was on that podium, Coetzee sets a new African record in a 51.85 to win gold. And the next two, Chekon and Undo Brouard, they actually didn't take it out as fast as the rest of the field. Like Ollie Morgan, Kaleshnikov, Levintsev, they all paid for their early speed. And we said in our preview, you're going to have to swim past Kaleshnikov to win this. Yeah. Maybe if you listened to that and got it wrong. Because we got it wrong. I think, like, Chekon's the most surprising for me because he was nowhere at the turn.
He was.
And
then that last 50 was incredible. He was half a second behind, which is a lot over 100 or even a 50. And then came back like a steam train. Like, I generally thought he was going to win it in the end, and he nearly did. 500s is extremely close. They all finished at the same time. It was a mad race, really. They also, like the first 50, their arms were almost going at the same time. It was almost like synchronized swimming at that point.
I think it was one of the closest 100-meter races we're going to see at these games.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The whole field, like even Ollie, was in with a chance of gold until the touch.
And that's the good thing from a British point of view, is that you're talking about these amazing backstroke swimmers, and we've got a British swimmer in amongst them. And yeah, okay, fifth, it doesn't sound great, but it is. Like, look at this time, 52.2 is awesome.
It's
like, we were really
another step on, isn't it?
Yeah, we were bouncing about as 52.1 in April. Like a 52.2 on the bigger stage with these massive guys is a fantastic swim. It's just the way it is. Like, these top three, sub 52, like you say, they're hitting African records, PBs all over the place, and they had to do that to get a medal. So, you know, it was a banging race, a really good one.
Yeah, kind of Brit watch to round out the point on Ollie. To go from 8th at the Olympics now to 5th at Worlds, it's another step forward. Yes, the time is not a step back. It's not really a step back because he raced the race. He really attacked the race. He wasn't looking for a personal best. I don't think he was really just trying to win.
It gave himself the best chance of winning the race. A bit like what Pallister did in the 15. Like, get out there, give yourself a chance, and then see what happens after that. Unfortunately, you have these monsters like Chekon coming back at you. But yeah, I thought it was a good swim, if I'm honest. A bit like Jimmy's swim. I thought that was also good. Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. Progress. Yeah.
Like we said going into this meet, we'd love a medal for Ollie, but I don't think the medal is the end goal. I don't think this is the end point. I think he's just constantly building, and this is another kind of string to his bow of international fields that for us to be discussing a medal in the 100 meters backstroke for British swimming is a step forward.
Yes, and definitely. And like I was saying, the guys you're dealing with here, you've got a handful of guys that could potentially get close to this world record now, all of a sudden, which I thought this world record was a little bit out of sight. But yeah, these guys are within 0.2, 0.3. You think, oh my word, and there's like 5 of them. So yeah, it's a good field to be part of, but a bit of a pain for him, I imagine, because you've got to get a medal, you've got to beat these massive guys.
Well, I think you always had to. Like, Chekon was always going to be there, wasn't he?
Well, of course he was. Yeah. But yeah, an amazing race.
And we rounded out the finals of day 3 with a women's 100 meters breaststroke won by an absolute outside burner in Alena Aland from Germany, who, by the way, Germany are having some world championships, dominated the open water. Men's distance swimming, and Lucas Martins is looking very, very strong. And now they pick up gold in the women's 100 meters breaststroke in a rapid time. Let's be honest, a 105.19 is quick.
Yeah, Olympics was won in a 105.0, I believe, so it's kind of there or thereabouts. I thought, looking at the semis, that Tang was the one to watch, I thought.
Oh, I thought Douglas was.
Oh, do you reckon? Yeah, it's only because she's taken out so hard, and if you give yourself, like I was saying with Ollie just then, give yourself the best chance of getting out there, clear water, and hopefully the body and the training that you've done before kind of takes you to the end. I mean, she went out in a sub 30. That's a good 50-meter breaststroke time. Like, what on earth?
That is,
and she paid for it. She paid for it at the end, obviously. Still managed to get a medal. But, yeah, I suppose the closing speed of Douglas and Land were the ones to watch out for here. But, yeah, the outside burner. Classic outside burner.
Okay, that just about rounds up the final swimming from night 3. We're going to have a quick ad break, and when we come back, we'll talk some semi-final action and preview tomorrow's finals. And we just want to remind you guys that tonight's episode from Propulsion Swimming is brought in partnership with One Flow Aquatics out in Summer Bay, the newest training camp destination on the Red Sea in Egypt. We absolutely love every single time we go out there. It's a world-class environment with, let's just say it, world-class weather. It doesn't rain in Summer Bay. It's sunny. There is a nice coastal breeze as well, which takes the edge off when temperatures hit to 38. And the facilities there are everything that you want from a brand new venue. Let's put it that way. It's not aged anything whatsoever. There's new hotels, new pools, new everything.
I mean, the inside gym is almost weeks old. That's how new it is. Yeah, inside gym, outside gyms, everything that swimmers could need for their training. Like I was saying last time, it's distance swimmers for your open water, the outside pool, the 50-meter pool, but there's also a 25-meter pool for power towers for your sprinters. Every swimmer's dream. I would love to go in there every time.
Yeah, so it's perfect for national training centres like the Aquatics GB Manchester Centre, who have been out there in their World Championship preparation. The Paris swimmers as well join them as well, so they're fit for Paris swimming. And if you're interested in being a club that goes out to visit, maybe in your October training camp, maybe in your February training camp, or maybe even a holding camp that you might have before Summer Nationals next year, you can follow the link in the show notes of this podcast, which will take you over to Sports Abroad, who will handle your inquiry. Semi-final action then. There's a few bits to talk about in the women's 200 meters freestyle, of which Freya Colbert looked really strong. The men's 200 meters butterfly. But let's start with the 50 meters breaststroke, which we've just talked about the men's 100 backstroke being an incredibly close field. This breaststroke field, it's just about spotting your finish. Everyone else has the same swim speed in the water, other than maybe Chin
Cerasulu as well, the Italian. They're quite aggressive
a little
strokes.
bit ahead, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But then if they mess up their finish, like you were saying, or mess up a little bit of their start, then it becomes a level playing field. Chin goes in favourite, I think, for me, for the final. Yes. But ultimately, you can throw a blanket over them and they're all going to finish at the same time. It is spotting the finish and you've got to nail it. Otherwise, you're going to miss the medal here.
And there were some big names that missed out on the medal. Like, actually quite surprising. So Shimanovic, who was your prediction heading into this, he misses. Martinenghi misses. Which was a big surprise, given how fast he took out the first 50 of the 100 meters breaststroke. But it sounds like he's been struggling with illness as well. Casper Corbeau misses out on the final, although I do think the 200 later on in the week is the best chance for his medal at these games for the Dutch swimming team, who, by the way, are having another phenomenal meet.
Yep.
I think you're right, though. Chin right now is on course for a triple at these World Championships. It will be, can someone stop him?
I think so, yeah. He's going to be favourite for the 50 final tomorrow. I think he's favourite for the 200 later on. He's already got his 100. He is the one to beat. And it wouldn't surprise me if he is the one that comes away with 3 medals in the breaststroke. I suppose the only one that can probably match that would be Kaylee if she were to manage win the 50 backstroke. But the last time they both did that, I think they both did it at the same time. So they could do it all over again. So, yeah, I think Chin is the one to watch out for. But it's a shame that Shimanovic is out because I really thought he might do something there. But never mind, can't get them all right.
Let's move on then to the women's 200 metres freestyle. There's a bit more talking points in this one. A little bit like the men's. The 2 semi-finals were paced very differently. And semi-final number 2, luckily for British hope Freya Colbert, was much faster than the first semi-final because she finished down in 5th, I think, in semi-final 2, and she goes into tomorrow's final, I think, in 6th. That was how many swimmers really benefited from being in the second semi-final. But I got a question. Molly O'Callaghan didn't look the strongest, but I think she was just racing the race.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I don't think she needed to kick on from the field.
No, I would still, even though Claire Weinstein did what she needs to do, clear fastest going into the final, I think Molly O'Callaghan is still the favourite because she was kind of playing with a field almost. I mean, she's going PB plus, 2, 3?
3, I think it was.
Crazy, like left over in the tank there, potentially. So she's still the favourite. Her starts look awesome. It's almost like she's sprinted to 15, maybe 25, and then just almost to what Popovici did the other day.
Yeah,
like just stopped almost and just, I'm on the front, let's just stay at the front and casually get through to the final, basically. So I suppose the closest challenge she's going to get would be Weinstein. She looked good. She's the fastest going in. But for me, Molly is still the favourite going in tomorrow.
Yeah, Weinstein is one of the American swimmers who we've had confirmed on comms that she was struggling quite badly with an illness at the start of the meet. I hope it does look like she shaked it off looking at that semi-final swim.
I thought that was quite a strong swim from her. Yeah,
so
definitely.
did I. On Britwatch then, Freya Colbert, she looked really strong and composed in this one, and she did the smart thing of just sat with the field, sat on the shoulder. It was all of the middle lanes went together, and she benefited from a fast semi-final. She goes a 1:55.91, and I think best case outcome tomorrow, maybe there's a shot at a podium, but there's also a shot at the British record.
Yes, definitely. And this is the beauty of being
4/10 off.
Yeah, this is the beauty of being in the second semi-final, because the first semi-final, you just got to win it. So Perkins won it in a 55.8, which is actually basically the same time as what Colbert did, and she came 5th. So, yeah, you got to be in the semi-final, ideally. Luck of the draw, I guess. and then stay with the racing pack. I was a little bit nervous at the start because finishing 5th is usually like alarm bells are ringing, but then you see the sign and you think, oh, she's almost comfortably in being 6th. But yeah, do you reckon the British record is on the cards? I think so. I think she looked
she looked really
strong. Yeah, I think strong. I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but definitely strong. Maybe there's another couple of tenths in that. Yeah, the underwater looking quite good. Yeah, if she can do that, then there's nothing more you can ask for. If she finishes 5th and she gets a British record, well, then she's done everything she can.
Men's 200 meters butterfly. I kind of want to say this one might be sewn up already because Luca Orlando has had a world the other day out in Singapore. He swam a 152 heat swim, backed it up with a semi-final 152, 8.4, fastest into the final, and his closest challenger in the heats, I think it wasn't Ilya Karun because the Polish swimmer went faster as well.
Chmielewski, if I've pronounced that right. Yeah, because there's 2 of them, isn't there? I think they're brothers.
Yeah. Are they brothers or twins? They might be.
Twins? Yeah. Well, brothers. Yeah.
But I would say, looking at the rest of the field, maybe Ilya Karun is his biggest challenger before heading into this meet. But Ilya Karun didn't look that strong, to be honest with you. And I know we've now got a lot of Canadian listeners to the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. So, hello, welcome. We really appreciate you joining this. I'm not even sure we can say it's a British Swimming Podcast during these World Championships too much. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section of what you thought of Ilya Karun, because some people predicted 3 gold medals for him in the butterfly events. Not quite clicking for him, I don't think. The 154 that he swam in these semi-finals, he left a lot of work to do in the last 50 meters.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it happens to every swimmer, every athlete. Sometimes it just doesn't work for that given day or that given week. I hope he does finally hit the podium, but I think Orlando he was my pick before going in. Even when Marchand was in the race, I still had Orlando winning, but he is definitely the favourite going in, like solid 52s every time he gets in. Can Karun get anywhere near that? I don't know. Based off previous swims, you're going to have to say no, but he could prove us wrong in the final tomorrow. But Orlando's the one to beat, and could we see a sub 52 from him? Has he been holding stuff back?
I'm not sure he needs
technically,
to go.
Technically, he looks amazing. But the high hips are incredible. He's holding it throughout the whole race. But then if you start to push on a 200 flight at the beginning, then it can be detrimental towards the end. So I think he's got to do it smart. But yeah, a 52 is going to win it, I think. So he's just got to do the same race again, basically. Just depends how fast he wants to go.
Brit watching this, Ed Mildred doesn't qualify from the semi-finals to the finals, but to make it into the semi-finals and his semi-final swim of a 156.13, which I think is a new personal best for him, bodes well for the 100. I think the 100 would have been the target. Yeah. The underwaters are looking good, actually. Like almost, give or take, maybe just ahead of the rest of the field in that semi-final that I was watching. Very difficult to tell because he was on the far side, but they were looking quite good. And yeah, bodes well for the 100 because he's coming back quite strongly. So yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see what he does in the 100 later on this week. And the medley relay, because the medley relay is slightly all over the place now, with breaststrokers not swimming like as fast as we thought we did. The backstrokers, we had no American in the semi-finals, but we had Italians in breaststroke, backstroke, freestyle. Yeah.
It makes it more exciting, though, rather than just 3 nations to talk about. We've actually got like all of Europe here, and Australia, Canada, America. There's loads in there. China, like we've got the whole final to talk about suddenly.
Okay, that just about rounds up tonight's review of Day 3 from Propulsion Swimming of the World Championships 2025. Hopefully, from a British point of view, we've got a British record to cheer on tomorrow for Freya Colbert. Duncan Scott starts his individual campaign in the 200 metres individual medley and the 100 metres freestyle as well, with Matt Richards and Jacob Mills get started. So we're going to be flying through the races on tomorrow's episode. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and you will be notified as soon as this episode goes live. And we will see you guys in 24 hours.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Propulsion Swimming Podcast with Scott and Dan. We want to thank you for joining us and invite you to subscribe to the show, as well as checking out the Propulsion Swimming YouTube channel for weekly tutorials and videos to get your swimming fix. We will be back next week. Until then, we'll catch you on the next one.